Hello everyone. You know, over the weekend I just came back from Johor and this was my first face-to-face session ever since the MCO started. I think it's probably been about 4 or 5 months, can't even remember exactly, right? And I gotta tell you something, it's been really good. It felt really good to be in front of an audience again. It felt really good to be able to facilitate conversations instead of doing it virtually over Zoom or Microsoft and stuff like that. And I can tell I wasn't alone in feeling the energy in the room because everybody enjoyed those conversations. I mean, sure, you gotta have the mask on and there's social distancing, but the fact that we were able to just have conversations that didn't need to wait for lag time and we could see each other's faces and body language as we had those conversations. It's really difficult to duplicate that online. So I'm really glad that things are starting to go back into a semblance of normality, the new normal, so-called, right? What I really wanted to talk about in this take was actually triggered by an incident that happened during the session. And it wasn't a huge incident, it was just a message that I received on my phone halfway through the session. And the message was from an old friend. Well, actually, to be honest, it was an old participant that I had come into contact maybe 10, 15 years ago. It was just a simple message that said, "Hey John, how are you? How's the family doing? Things are difficult right now. Hope you're doing well." And this was a very senior person. This was a CEO of an organization that was based in Singapore, not your average Joe on the streets. And the fact that I got a message from this individual sort of got me thinking. Over the last couple of months with the MCO and the lockdown and business being affected, I've been really, really blessed. There have been so many people that have done great things for me and shown care and compassion when they really didn't have to. And that made me think about leadership. It made me think about whether leadership was all about business. Is it just about driving the company's direction? Is it all about business strategies and so on? And I don't disagree that that's really, really important. But the things that have happened over the last couple of months, those little small incidents of people reaching out to me and saying, "John, are you okay? Is your family okay?" made me realize that leadership is a much more visceral, much more basic emotion. The fact that somebody cares for you helps you understand that things are not so bad. Maybe things can get better. What about us? Have we been, that to somebody else? Can we be that to somebody else? There's so much hate, there's so much division in the world these days, whether it's in the corporate sector, in the political sector, on the racial scene, so much trouble out there. Leadership is about reaching out to show that you care, not just in a blanket statement, but reaching out to individuals and telling them that, hey, if you need something, I'm here and I'm going to do whatever I can. Might not be a lot, but just know that I care. Especially when you don't need to. And all the people who reached out to me in the last couple of months, they didn't really need to. And I call that grace, right? I call that the fact when people do something for you and they don't really need to, it's called grace. And grace is probably one of the most difficult aspects of leadership. To do something for somebody else even when they don't deserve it. There's been so many of these incidences, not just in my life, but from my observations, that have given me hope that maybe things are going to be okay, that hopefully things are going to be okay. So I guess what I'm just trying to say and what I'm going to end with is, it's not all about you. When we are in tough times, I think we've got to remember that somebody is probably having an even tougher time. And if we have to consider ourselves true leaders, then we've got to take that step forward and start thinking of other people and reaching out to those other people to see how we can make their lives a little bit better, a little bit easier. Even if it's just by sending a text that says, "How are you? Hope you're doing fine. Thinking of you."